Kyrie Irving, after the lifting of the vaccine mandates in New York City, allowed to play, but it was LaMelo Ball who would steal the show from him. Look at Ball in the corner, knocking down a three. He would finish with 33 points, 7 of 12 from three. Kyrie started cold, then he started heating up a little bit in the fourth quarter of this game. That would make it a 2-point game. And then the next possession for Brooklyn, look at the handles. Again, this is what Kyrie does better than anybody. He would finish with 16 points, just 6 of 22 from the floor. Now, here's where the game is decided. Less than 3 minutes, Hornets are up by 1. This is Cody Martin, the 1-foot three, and he knocks it down. They're up by 4. Then it's a 2-point game with a minute left, and it's Martin again showing you the range and grabbing the change. It is Charlotte that comes up big, light, and they go on to win it, spoiling the party for Kyrie, 119-110. Kyrie, your thoughts?
We know where we are in the standings, and we also know how much talent we have in that locker room and what we're capable of doing. So though this may look like a loss that could have easily been a win column for us, we'll just take our bumps and bruises and move forward.
Well, the first thing he said is we know where we are in the standings. Let's make sure you know where they are in the standings. They're ninth. They are ninth right now, or tied with Charlotte, as you see there, but they lose last night to the Hornets. So it's a big game and a big moment there. Still 7 games left for the Nets to try and move up. Can they get themselves out of the play-in tournament? That seems unlikely. And so I come back to Legs here for all of this. What should we take away from this? This is a night, if there was one game I was sure the Nets would win, it would be this one, where Kyrie got the opportunity to play at home. What do you take away from the fact that they don't?
I look at it like a bad shooting night from Kyrie Irving because he was probably pressing Greeny. This had to feel a little bit strange to him actually playing a home game. That was an unusual environment for him. I think he was probably forcing the issue a little bit, and he had a rough night. And right now, the Brooklyn Nets have one formula to win games. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have to be great offensively because, one, they don't have a ton of help in their supporting cast, and 2, they're not going to stop anybody. You don't string together stops right now if you're the Brooklyn Nets to win games. So you've got one formula. Those 2 guys have to be great offensively, and on this particular night, Kyrie was not. So look, it's a bad loss considering the timing of the year and where they are and the pressure that's on them right now. Last night, but I'm not going to put too much into it. He has been absolutely unbelievable here for about a month.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I've been saying all along that if the mandate got lifted, the Nets would be my team to beat in the Eastern Conference, and I will stay with that. Meanwhile, I showed you the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff standings. Let me show you the top, because for the first time all season long, the Boston Celtics are now the 1 seed in the East. There they are, sitting up there after an unbelievable after an unbelievable year. Candidly, going back to Christmas, they've been the best team in the NBA. They've won 22 of their last 25. So, Legs, as we have gone through the East all year long, we've talked about every other team. It's time to start talking about the Celtics. Is this a legitimate championship contender?
Without question, you don't go 22-3 at this time of the year and not be considered a contender. I think for me, there's a few things I'm looking at with this team. The first is this. This is the best stretch of offense Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have played at the same time since they've been teammates. That's scary for the rest of the league because these are 2 multi-dimensional forwards with size, length. They can score from anywhere on the floor, and it's not looking like a your turn, my turn type of offense. They're actually playing well together collectively. The other thing that's really been a huge factor, they've gotten great production from their bench guards, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. These guys have been tremendous. They're knocking down threes off of them. They've become one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think early on the jury was out a little bit. Not that we doubted Ime Udoka. We just needed to see him longer as the coach of this team. He's up on every possession. He's clearly got his stamp all over the way this team's playing. So there's no doubt the Boston Celtics are a legitimate title contender. That list of teams now has 5 in it in the East, and that's including Brooklyn. I'm not ready to think they have no shot with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And then obviously Milwaukee and Miami are right there as well.
All right, we will see. I think Udoka has put himself very much into the Coach of the Year conversation as well. I want to show you one more thing from the NBA. Get me Neek in here. because let's do a little game of who did it better. So this was over the weekend. This is Andre Drummond is going to be sort of breaking away for an uncontested slam. And look, he flashed the deuces. He gave him the Tyreek Hill deuces. Dominique, what do you think?
I love it, man. The big guy who doesn't have much speed shows us that speed kills in every sport, in every position. I love a little bit of taunting, especially to the Heat. They love, Tyreek Hill looks so comfortable. It's too easy for him. It's too easy for him.
What do you think, Legs? Who did it better?
Yeah, I love it. Listen, I'm going to go with Drummond for this reason. That's very similar to when a defensive lineman, picks up a fumble or they get a tipped interception at the line of scrimmage, and now they're rambling toward the end zone with a bunch of dudes trying to catch him. So I'm going to go with Andre Drummond to have the wherewithal to flash that. In the midst of a play, by the way, he could easily dribble that thing off his foot after doing that. I give him a lot of credit because that took a lot of nerve in the open floor.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill is expecting that.
Tyreek
Hill expects that once a game. And Drummond never expects to do something like that. And to pull that out, it's impressive.
I'm with you. Yeah, and he did it, against Miami, and now Tyreek Hill playing for Miami, and so there was some symmetry there. All right, get me Teddy Bruschi back in the conversation here, and let's do a new edition of Teddy Set Go. Teddy's got 3 things in his mind, and it starts in the NFC. Teddy, who's going to win the NFC this year?
All right, let's get it revved up, Greeny. I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. It was the Green Bay Packers a couple weeks ago, but you lose Tay, and then that just changes things for me. I think the Rams are the favorite. Matthew Stafford basically said last year, you give me a squad, I'll get you a ring. That's what he did. Courageous throws in the offseason. I really think the Rams have a great shot at defending their title. All right, let's go to these overtime rules, okay? The owners' meetings are down there. And listen, as much as I feel that defenses, you just got to stop people, I'm going to give the people what they want. I mean, both teams deserve a possession. I think that's the way it needs to be. Find a way to do that. And if not, just go ahead, look to college. All right, college has some great rules also. 25-yard line going in, put the ball down, and then let's go with that. So fix the overtime rules, hopefully, at these owners' meetings. Next thing, let's go finish with Teddy said go with a little Tua talk. Could this be Tua's last game, last year in Miami? I'm telling you, if he doesn't do his best Patrick Mahomes imitation at times, okay, with Tyreek Hill, the new added weapon, it could be. Because he needs to find a way to push the ball downfield. If he can't show he can use all of these added weapons that they've given him, it's going to be very difficult for him. So that's my Teddy set go, and there's my deuces.
Okay, I like the deuces. I have to come back to the overtime at some point because, Teddy, I'm so delighted to have you on this program regularly here, and I admit to being intimidated by you enough, practically to the point where I would describe myself as afraid. But there were no words to describe how strongly I disagree on the overtime piece of this. So we'll come back to that. However, let's focus in on Tyreek and Tua for a minute. Dan Orlovsky, with Tyreek Hill on his team, what is Tua Tagovailoa now in Miami?
I think Tua becomes a top 12 player at the position. I just don't want people to expect him to become something that he isn't, nor has he ever been. And I know Teddy referenced, if he doesn't do his best Patrick Mahomes in moments, he's not Patrick. He's not going to be the guy that runs around and throws the ball across his body 40 yards. But I think that the Miami Dolphins with Tua and now with Tyreek Hill can become basketball on grass, and he just has to play elite-level point guard. I would tell you this, if I had to ask everybody at home paying attention and people on this show right now, what quarterback last year threw the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage most in the NFL, who would you say? It's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage the most last year in the NFL. He just so happened to have Tyreek Hill. That's what's going to be this offense right now. And I get your point, Teddy, of saying he's got to throw the ball downfield, and you know this just as much as anybody. I think there's 2 ways you throw the ball downfield in the NFL. You either have a freakazoid, a Julio Jones, a DeAndre Hopkins, where you can go, my guy better than your guy, I'm going to throw it downfield, or you got to be phenomenal at the play-action pass. Mike McDaniel, their new head coach, is going to be phenomenal designing stuff to create chunks in that play-action game. And I just think this offense is going to be basketball on grass with their speed and physicality on the offensive line now.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Yeah, Dan, there's a reason why Patrick Mahomes was so successful throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage to those receivers. It's because there was the threat that he would throw it deep, and Tyreek Hill gave him that threat. Early on for Tua, okay, if he doesn't show at least any courage of using this weapon properly, all right, so it's all, Tua led the league, one of the quarterbacks, 10-yard completion. That's been his average, okay?